monsters treat you as a halfling. Exception: monsters with no's in their name will never pursue you. If you cannot defeat them, you run away automatically. A level 9 Spikiosaurus. One-shots do not count against Spikiosaurus. The bad stuff is, lose your armor. If you have no armor, ouch, you are dead. Gain 3 treasures from defeating Spikiosaurus. Baby, -5 to monster. Play during combat. If the monster is defeated, draw 1 fewer treasures. Minimum of 1. Curse, lose your race. Discard any races you have in play and become a human. A level 14 Stoned Golem. You may choose whether to fight this stoned golem or just wave, walk past, and let him keep his treasure. Exception: halflings look tasty and must fight. The bad stuff is, he has the munchies. He eats you. You're dead. Gain 4 treasures from defeating the stoned golem. A +2 junior paleontologist hireling. I think we already saw one of these. Add an extra +1 if you fight a monster with dinos or soar in the name. +2 tour guide hireling. No one can play a wandering monster on you while you have the tour guide. Curse Prehysteria. Lose your headgear. There's another ranger class card. Monster tamer. In this combat on your turn, you may tame a single monster instead of fighting it. It becomes your new steed. To do so, you must discard your old steed, if any, plus a number of cards equal to the treasures on the monster's card. That number is your new steed's combat bonus. You may not trade a monster steed, give it away, or sell it for levels. Ranger support. When you help someone in combat, you get +2. Curse, lose a big item. Choose 1 big item to discard. Level 7 Duck Build Dinosaur. It gets +5 if any duck card has already appeared in this game. Bad stuff. You should never pick up a duck-built dinosaur anywhere at all. Lose a level and discard an item. Gain 2 treasures from defeating the duck-built dinosaur. Curse Volcano. Lose your armor. Level 4 Undead Horse. +5 against dwarves. The bad stuff is, it kicks, bites, and smells awful. Lose 2 levels. Gain 2 treasures from defeating the undead horse. Curse, lose the armor you are wearing. Really need to shuffle these cards more. Level 1 Dragon, Hydrogen Dragon. If you are using a fire flame item, you automatically defeat the hydrogen dragon, but the treasure is consumed in the explosion. The bad stuff, your ears are ringing. You cannot offer anyone help in combat until the start of your next turn. Gain 1 treasure from defeating the hydrogen dragon. Truly obnoxious curse. Lose the item that gives you the biggest bonus. Mirror Portal. Do not draw a new dungeon. Reverse all combat and runaway bonuses and penalties given by the monster or dungeon cards. Bonuses given by items, classes, and races are unaffected. Leave this on the table as a reminder until the next portal is played. A level 10, 3,872 orcs. +6 against dwarves due to ancient crutches. Bad stuff is, roll a die. On a 2 or less, they stomp you to death. Otherwise, lose lose as many levels as the die shows. Gain 3 treasures for defeating 3,872 orcs. Another portal of Kafordle. Everyone goes up a level, though this cannot be the winning level. Dance, be happy. Now discard all the dungeons in play and draw a new one. A level 8 Amazon will not attack females, just gives them 1 treasure instead. The bad stuff is, you have had your butt kicked by a woman. Your macho Munchkin bride is lost. Lose your class or classes. If you already had no class, lose 3 levels. Gain 2 treasures from defeating the Amazon. A level 6 Tin Soldier. +4 against ponies. Bad stuff. Lose the armor you are wearing. If you weren't wearing any, lose a level. Gain 2 treasures from defeating the Tin Soldier. +3 bonus. Paleontologist hireling. Add an extra +1 if you fight a monster with dino or soar in the name. It's an elf race card. +1 to run away. You go up a level for every monster you help someone else kill. A level 2 gelatinous octahedron. +1 to run away. The bad stuff is drop all your big items. Gain 1 treasure from defeating the gelatinous octahedron. Suspiciously simple portal. Discard all dungeon cards in play and draw a new dungeon to replace them. Level 2 large angry chicken. Fried chicken is delicious. Gain an extra level if you defeat it with fire or flame. The bad stuff. Very painful pecking. Lose a level. You can gain 1 treasure from defeating the large angry chicken. Next up, level 8 Dragon Queen. -5 if you have changed sex in this game. The bad stuff. She gives you a makeover. Discard 1 armor, headgear, or footgear. Or gain 2 treasures from defeating the Dragon Queen. Walking in circles. Choose any previously discarded dungeon card to put in play. If none have been discarded, draw a new dungeon card instead. Its effects add to those of the dungeons you are now in. Except we have another wizard class card. A +3 bonus humongous horse steed. Gives +2 to the players on your right and left if they do not have their own steeds. Enraged, +5 to monster. Play during combat. If the monster is defeated, draw 1 extra treasure. A level 1 lame goblin. +1 to run away. Bad stuff. He whacks you with his crutch. Lose a level. Gain 1 treasure from defeating the lame goblin. Another suspiciously simple portal. Unknown to science. +5 to monster. Play during any combat. If the monster is defeated, draw 1 extra treasure. Curse, change class. If you have no class now, this curse has no effect. Otherwise, go back through the discard pile starting with the top discard. The first class card you come to replaces your current class or classes. If you go through the discards without finding a class card, you just lose your own class or classes. So we have a cleric class card. I'm going to read it. up, you may instead take some or all of the top of the appropriate discard pile. You must then discard one card from your hand for each card so drawn. Turning, you may discard up to 3 cards in combat against an undead creature. Each discard gives you a +3 bonus. Another halfling card. You may sell one item each turn for double price. Other items are at normal price. If you fail your initial runaway roll, you may discard a card and try once more. We have another dwarf race card. You can carry any number of big items. You can have 6 cards in your hand. Another warrior class card. Berserking. You may discard up to 3 cards in combat. Each one gives you a +1 bonus. You win ties in combat. Teleport. Discard the dungeon card of your choice and draw a new one to replace it. A +3 Dino Hireling. Calls his tribe to help if needed. An extra +3 for every added monster in the combat. Curse Strange Race. If you have no race now, this curse has no effect. Otherwise, go back through the discard pile, starting with the top discard. The first race card you come to replaces your current race or races. If you go through the discards without finding a race card, you just lose your own race. And those are the door cards that I have. The good old door cards. So now I'm going to move on to the treasure cards. Starting out with a +5 bonus, Backbone Bow, an extra +1 against undead cards. It counts as 2 hands. Instant Wall allows automatic escape for 1 or 2 players from any fight, usable once only. The Knee Pads of Allure, not usable by clerics. No player with a level higher than yours can refuse your request for help against a monster, or even ask for a reward. You cannot gain the winning level in a combat where your helper was compelled by the knee pads. Next up we have +2 bonus, Spiky Pink. Place this card with an item or steed that gives a combat bonus. It is now the Spiky Pink what have you, and worth an extra +2 in combat. This card goes with the item or steed if it is lost, stolen, or discarded. A +3 bonus, Talons, counts for 1 hand. We've got the +1 bonus, +3 for elves, a horny helmet. It's headgear. Shoot. We've got +2 Stone Bone. It counts as 1 hand. +2 bonus, the Big Book of Dinos. An extra +1 for each paleontologist with you. Counts as 1 hand. Hit 'em with a comet. Used during any combat, +5 to either side. This is a fire flame attack, usable once only. Dynamite. Used during any combat, +4 to either side. This is a user draws a face down door. Potion of General Studliness, curable level. The Flask of Glue. Play when someone successfully escapes a combat for any reason. They must reroll their escape even if it was automatic the first time. Usable once only. Jurassic Snark, go up a level. Pretty Balloons. Play during any combat for distraction plus 5 to either side. Usable once only. Nasty Tasting Sports Drink. Play during any combat plus 2 to either side. Usable once only. The Potion of Idiotic Bravery. Play during any combat plus 2 to either side. Usable once only. The Plastic Dinosaurs. Used during any combat plus 2 to either side. Usable once only. The Doppelganger. Summons your exact duplicate who fights beside you, so you double your combat strength. You may use the Doppelganger only when you are the only player in the combat. Usable once only. A Flaming Poison Potion. Play during any combat plus 3 to either side. Usable once only. A Magic Missile. Play during any combat plus 5 to either side. Usable once only. +1 Bitey Dino Head. An extra +1 if the monster is level 3 or below. It counts as one hand item. Cute. Place this card with a steed. It is now the cute what have you. And you look so very cute that the players of a higher level cannot play cards against you. This card goes with the steed if it is lost, stolen, or discarded. +1 bonus, a rat on a stick. Hey, it's better than nothing. You may discard this item even if you are only carrying it for an automatic escape from any monster level 8 or below. Counts as one hand item and has no value. +3 bonus, really impressive title. Potion of Fusion. Potion of Confusion. Play during any combat +3 to either side. Usable once only. The Freezing Explosive Potion. Play during any combat +3 to either side. Usable once only. Amber. Used during any combat +3 to either side. Usable once only. A Magic Lamp. You may use the lamp only on your turn. It summons a genie who makes a single monster vanish, even if you had already failed your runaway roll and it was about to catch you. If it was the only monster you were facing, you may take its treasure, but you don't gain a level. Usable once only. +11-foot pole, +1 bonus, counts as 2 hands. +4 bonus, usable by humans only. Swiss Army polearm, counts as 2 hands and it is a big item. A +4 bonus, usable by wearer only. Shield of Ubiquity. It's a 1 hand big item. +3 Chainsaw of Bloody Dismemberment. It counts as 2 hands and is a big item. The Nuclear Wassail. Used during any combat, +4 to either side. This is a fire flame attack. Usable once only. It's a one-shot. +5 bonus Skull Mace. 2 hands. A +1 bonus Hireling allows you to carry and use 1 extra item even if you could not otherwise. If you lose your Hireling, the item goes too. You may discard your Hireling for an automatic escape from any monster. Keep this card in front of you with your treasures. +4 Stompy Bronto Feet. It's funkier and it counts with a big item. Anything that is not a big item is a small item. +4 bonus, your feet are dragon. -1 to run away or may be discarded for an automatic escape from a dragon even after a failed roll. It's funkier. +1 bonus, spiky knees. Dino Tracks. Used during any combat, +2 to either side. Usable once only. A +2 bonus, Buckler of Swashing. It's a one-handed item. Caporalites. Used during any combat, +3 to either side. Usable once only. Some turds on that card. Kill the Hireling. You can use this card only if a Hireling is in play, no matter who owns him. Discard the Hireling. Go up a level. Mutilate the Bodies. This card can be played only after combat, but it does not have to be your combat. Go up a level. My dog's snoring. Got a loaded die. Play after you roll the die for any reason. Turn the die so the number of your choice is on the top. That's your roll. Usable once only. +3 Tail Club. An extra +1 if the monster is level 10 or above, or +2 if it is level 16 or above. Counts as one hand. Next up we have the Transferal Potion. Play during any combat. Any other player, your choice, fights the monster or monsters may ask for help normally and gets the treasure and levels if he wins. The original player then resumes his turn and may loot the room whether the combat was won or lost. Usable once only. +3 bonus, usable by males only. That's the Gentleman's Club. One-handed item. +3 bonus, Smallifying Glass. Counts as a one-hand. +3 bonus, usable by wizards only. The Pointy Hat of Power. It's headgear. +2 bonus, Sneaky Bastard Sword. It's a one-handed item. We've got the Sleep Potion. Play during any combat, +2 to either side. Usable once only. The Dino Colada. Used during any combat, +3 to either side, usable once only. +3 bonus, usable by halfling only. Limburger and anchovy sandwich. We got a +5 bonus, dino disguise. Headgear and armor. It counts as headgear and armor, and it is a big item. Hoard. Draw 3 more treasure cards immediately. They are face down if you drew this card face down, otherwise they are face up. +4 bonus, huge head helmet. Monster enhancers cannot be played against you without your permission. Unfortunately, you also have -1 to run away unless you discard the helmet before rolling. It's headgear and it counts as a big item. +3 bonus, not usable by wizard. The mithril armor counts as a big item. Boots of running really fast. Gives you +2 to run away. It's footgear. Sandals of protection. Curse cards which you draw when kicking down the door have no effect. Curses cast by other players will still affect you. Footgear. Electric radioactive acid potion. Play during any combat, +5 to either side. Usable once only. Fossilizing fluid. Used during any combat, +3 to either side, or +6 against undead. Usable only once. +2 boots of butt kicking. Footgear. +2 flaming armor. +3 bonus Tricera top hat. It's headgear. Another loaded die. Play after you roll the die for any reason. Turn the dice at the number of your choices on top. That's your roll. Usable once only. Wine at the GM. You can't use this if you're currently the highest level player or tied for highest. Go up a level. +1 bonus, Helm of Courage. +3 bonus, usable by halfling only. It's a stepladder. It's a big item. Oh, halfling man, he's short and needs to get up, reach stuff. +3 bonus, it's a huge rock. Counts as 2 hands and is a big item. +3 bonus, usable by elf only. A rapier of unfairness. Counts as a 1 hand. Bribe the GM with food. Go up a level. Discover a new species. Go up a level. Holiday special. If any other player mentions Life Day or makes any other reference to that holiday special, you may also draw 2 face-down treasure cards. +2 bonus, fossil stilts. You can step over hazards. Ignore lose your footgear results. +1 bonus, paleo bale. Discard the bale to automatically escape from any monster with a printed level of 1 or 2, no matter how greatly it has been enhanced. +4 Thagamizer. Counts as 2 hands and is a big item. +3 bonus, usable by dwarf only. Short white armor. +4 bonus, usable by cleric only. Mace of Sharpness. It counts as one hand. Potion of Halitosis. Play during any combat. +2 to either side, or instantly kills the floating nose. Usable once only. A reloaded die. Play after any other player rolls the die for any reason. Turn the die so that the number of your choice is on top. That's his roll. A reloaded die can override a loaded die or another reloaded die. A loaded die can override a reloaded die. The last card played is the one that counts. Usable once only. Boil and Anthill go up a level. Escape Extinction. This card can also be played for an automatic runaway after a failed roll. Go up a level. +4 bonus, usable by thief only. Cloak of Obscurity. Steal a level. Pick one player to steal a level from. You go up 1, he goes down 1. Dino Eggs. Used during any combat, +3 to either side. Usable once only. 1,000 gold pieces. Go up a level. +3 bonus, Reindeer Paws. It's footgear. A +1 bonus, Leather Armor. We've got the Wishing Ring. Cancels any curse. Play at any time. Usable once only. +3 bonus, usable by females only. It's a broadsword. It's a one-handed item. +1 bonus, Dire Fire. This is a fire flame attack if and only if you want it to be. It's a one-handed item. Got +3 bonus, Dragon Balls. They zip and zing through the air like a zephyr. This counts as a fire flame attack. They get an extra +5 when fighting a dragon, even one that's usually immune to fire flame attacks. It counts as one hand. Next up we have another Wishing Ring. Cancels any curse. Play at any time. Usable once only. Next up we have another loaded die. Another Wishing Ring. Another Wishing Ring. Gotta shovel these cards. Next we have a +3 Stego Armor. A +2 Dino Tooth Dagger. Counts as a one hand. We got the Tuba of Charm. This melodious instrument captivates your foes, giving you +3 to run away. If you successfully escape combat, snag a face-down treasure on your way out. It counts as one hand, but it is a big item. You can only have one big item. +1 bonus, Slimy Armor. Gross. This is a fire flame attack, usable only once. Got +4 bonus. Dragon Flagon. What do dragons drink? Fire water, of course. This is a fire flame item. It counts as one hand and is a big item. We got +1 backtrackers. You have +2 to run away. It is foot gear. Decorate your house, go up a level. Invisibility potion. Play when your runaway roll fails. You escape automatically. Usable once only. +3 bonus. Usable by cleric only. Cheese grater of peace. It's a one-handed item. Yuppie water. Play during any combat. Usable once only and only to help elves. +2 to each elf in the battle. +4 bonus. Usable by dwarf only. Hammer of kneecapping. It counts as one hand. +5 bonus. Usable by wizard only. Staff of napalm. It counts as one hand. +4 bonus. Heavy winter coat. -1 to run away. It is armor, but it is also a big item. Got +3 bonus. Silver bells. Counts as one hand. Invoke obscure rules. Go up a level. A polymorph potion. Play during any combat. Turns any one monster into a parrot, which flies away, leaving its treasure behind. Usable once only. +3 bonus. Not usable by warrior. Pantyhose of giant strength. The wand of dowsing. Go through the discards to find any one card you want. Take that card and discard this one. Usable once only. It's worth a lot of gold, too. You can trade 1,000 gold. The value of 1,000 gold in to move up one level, but it can't be the winning level. Okay. +2 bonus. Not usable by thief. Singing and dancing sword. He sure looks happy. +2 bonus. Hunting cap. It's headgear. +3 bonus. Usable by a thief only. It's the dagger of treachery. And it counts as one hand. Got +3 bonus. Camo armor. +2 bonus. Escape clause. If you failed your runaway roll, you may try again. That is some foot gear. And those are the treasure cards. So now moving right along to the dungeon cards. I'm going to show you my dungeon cards. They're bigger. They're much bigger. Okay, so this is the Dungeon of Ridiculous Races. Everyone gets a race card from the discards, or if necessary, the deck reshuffle afterwards. Players choose races in reverse order of their level. That is, the lowest level player chooses first. If you do not wish to play your new race now, put it in your hand. While in this dungeon, there is no limit to the number of races you may have in play. When you leave, you'll have to decide which extra to discard. Next up, we have the catacombs. +5 to any monster with the letters C, A, and T in its name, regardless of what order they are in. The Dungeon of Comprehensive Curses. Any curse that is drawn or played is applied to everyone in the dungeon, unless it already does affect everyone. Any card or ability that normally protects you from a curse will still work, but it only protects the one who played it. Cards and abilities that would normally allow a player to grab a played curse and put it in his hand can still be used for protection, but the curse card is discarded rather than captured. Dungeon of Utter Uncharitability. You may have any number of cards in your hand. Since this takes away one advantage of being a dwarf, all dwarves get an extra level as soon as they enter this dungeon. When you leave, reduce your hand size to the normal limit. Discard the extras. No one gets charity here, even as you leave. Joe's Discount Dungeon. Only 800 GP per level. Honest, it ain't much, but it's honest work. Dungeon of Deadly Duffel Death. Added death to the bad stuff for every monster. Just to be fair, lose an extra level when you fall to a monster that already has death in its name. In its bad stuff, I mean. This one may make for a longer game. Dungeon of Mongo Wrangling. Any monster with tentacles has an extra +5 against females, and is worth an extra treasure if defeated by or with the help of a female. If the Munchkins cannot agree whether a given monster has tentacles, send us a check for $20 and we'll tell you. It's so funny, I love this fucking game. Okay. Dungeon of Enforced Holiday Cheer. All monsters are considered Santas with the usual Santa stacking rule, just like undead. Monsters that are already Santa have their level doubled. Dungeon of Sartorial Splendiferousness. All bonuses from headgear, footgear, and armor are tripled, even if you are only carrying them, not wearing them, even if you could normally use those items at all. Could not normally use those items at all. The value of headgear, footgear, and armor is doubled if you choose to sell it while here. If you lose, not sell an item of headgear, footgear, or armor in this dungeon, you also lose a level from sheer shame. For shame. Alright. The Harm Pit. The level of all monsters is doubled for combat. The bonus of all one-shots played against the Munchkins is doubled. Sneak Peek. Thieves everywhere. All players have -1 to run away. Add lose an item to all bad stuff. The Dungeon of Foul, Filthy Flypaper Floors. Everyone is at -1 to run away. The Burning Deck. The boy stood on the burning deck whence all but him had fled. The deck was on fire. All items count as fire flame. The World of Munchkin. An extra +5 in every combat to anyone who is wearing any amount of official Munchkin apparel or jewelry. An extra +2 above that if any of the swag is signed by an artist or designer of any of the sets you are playing with. Dungeon of Mandatory Murder. You cannot go up a level except by killing a monster, or for an elf helping to kill a monster, go up a level. special conditions on the card can be played in any combat as a +10 to either side. All other go up a level instructions on cards are ignored. Dungeon of GM Generosity. Whenever you draw treasures for any reason, draw one more treasure than the card states. When you loot the room, draw 2 face-down doors. Deadpool. Whenever there is a combat, roll a die and turn over that many cards from the door deck. Any monster you find, join the combat. Any monsters you find join the combat as undead. If the monster already was undead, it has +5. If someone agrees to help in the combat, do this again. Dongyeon. A million years of manure. Any monster with monkey, ape, or Kong in its name gets +5 for its unlimited ammunition. Dungeon of Double Trouble. When you kick down the door and find a monster, it is twins. The 2 monsters have the same level and all the same monster enhancers. If the monsters are defeated, draw treasure for each and go up levels for each. However, all players' levels are also doubled for combat purposes. Dungeon of Fulgent Equity. When any player goes up a level for any reason other than this card, the lowest level player also goes up a level. That can include the player who leveled in the first place and the bonus level. It can be the winning, and the bonus level can be the winning level. The Dungeon of False Bride and Chicken Salad. If you have any card in play with the word chicken on it, or if you discard a card with the word chicken from your hand, or if you are eating chicken in real life at the moment this dungeon appears, you get +10 on all combats in this dungeon. Alright. Beverly Hells. Double the level of demons and undead. Any demon or undead can be played into combat without a wandering monster card. Looks like a really shitty dungeon to be in. Dungeon of Ubiquitous Undead. All undead get +5. If a monster is not undead, any player can make it undead during any combat by discarding 1 card from his hand. The Dungeon of Straw Cab. I don't know what that is. While you were in this dungeon, play goes counterclockwise. You start the turn with the charity phase, though other phases go in normal order after that, and Munchkin successfully run away on a roll of 4 or less. The Chamber of Secretions. +5 for orcs, -5 for elves. Life is unfair. The Cheshire Cavern. Monsters here are harder to see, and therefore harder to hit. +3 to each monster. The City-State of Invisible Underwear. Any rule or card reference to gender, including change-sex cards, may be ignored at the option of the player whose turn it is. If this results in the equipping of an item, that item remains equipped until the player leaves the dungeon. Dungeon of Militant Monsters. While in this dungeon, each player may play 1 monster from his hand into an existing combat without using a wandering monster card. You only need a wandering monster card if you want to play another monster into the same combat. The Dungeon of Feeble Foes. against elves now gets -10 against elves. Penalties on monster cards are unchanged. The Dungeon of Lavish Loot. Treasures are everywhere. On your turn, you may choose to wander around in the corridors picking up stuff. Draw 2 face-up treasures and skip directly to the charity phase. But since treasures are so common here, you cannot sell items to go up a level while you are in this dungeon. The House of Cards. There is no limit to the hand size while in the House of Cards. You may have as many cards as you'd like. Yes, that means no charity. But the House of Cards may collapse in an instant. At the moment that you exit this dungeon, give charity to the lowest level player, as usual, and you do not have a chance to play any cards first. The Monkey House. Add some monkeys, a virtual level 5 monster to every combat. The monkeys gives 1 level and have 1 treasure if killed. Monkey see, monkey do. Their bad stuff is a duplicate of the bad stuff of whatever other monster in the combat has the lowest level. Munchkin Tavern. It's always a party at the Munchkin Tavern. Everyone draws 2 face-down treasures when this dungeon enters play. If you get this signed by Steve Jackson, Andrew Hagnard, or John Kovalik, everyone gets to draw an extra face-down treasure for each signature. White Club. The first rule of White Club is that while in this dungeon, players may not acknowledge that they are in this dungeon. Each time someone says either word of the name of this dungeon, unless they are reading this card aloud, they lose a level. If you absolutely have to say one of those words, say cheeseburger instead. The second rule of cheeseburger is that all undead monsters get +5, but so do all zombie munchkins. Dungeon of Gender Bending. Everyone changes sex and gets the standard -5 penalty on their next combat. This is not a curse, but the effect can be reversed by a wishing ring. Decide what the opposite sex version of your name is. Anyone who calls you by your real name rather than the opposite sex version loses a level. Anyone who gets sex changed again while in this dungeon goes up a level. Your sex reverses again with all the same effects when you leave this dungeon. The Dungeon of Elvish Excess. Everyone who is not already an elf gets an elf card. If there aren't enough elf cards in the discards and deck, fake it. While in this dungeon, your elfishness cannot be lost or discarded. It does not count against your normal limit of races, so half-breed could let you have 3 races. If you play a half-breed card and no other race, you can declare yourself to be half-human and getting the normal benefit for half-elf, half-human characters. When you leave this dungeon, you may discard races to get down to the normal limit, and your elfishness can now be lost or discarded normally. The Dungeon of Stupendous Skills. Everyone gets a class card from the discards, or if necessary, the deck reshuffle afterward. Players choose classes in reverse order of their level. That is, the lowest level player chooses first. If you don't wish to play your new class now, put it in your hand. While in this dungeon, you may have 2 class cards and play without a Super Munchkin card. If you get Super Munchkin, you can add a 3rd. When you leave, you'll have to decide which extra to discard. The Dungeon of Extra Effort. While in this dungeon, you win by reaching level 11. just by changing the dungeon. The dungeon have even more rampant cheating than usual. Any go-up a level card can be used instead as a cheat card. Place it on the table with the cheated item. You may take the G-Whale card off the table anytime and discard it to go up a level, but the cheated item must be discarded. When you leave this dungeon, all G-Whales being used as cheats remain in play as cheats, but can no longer be used normally. Last but not least, the Dungeon of Cinematic Encumbrance limits. While in this dungeon, everyone gets one extra hand and everyone can carry an extra big item. When you leave, you must discard big items down to your